Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what's happening in the NFL right now, especially in the NFC, is nothing short of explosive. And for us Packers fans, it's a roller coaster of emotions. We've seen so much over the years, from iconic moments to tough seasons, but this latest move shakes things up in a way we haven't seen in quite some time. The NFL landscape is always shifting, but this trade, if it pans out as expected, could be one of those defining moments. Rumors have been swirling for a while, but now it's official. Rashan Gary, one of the most explosive pass rushers in the league, is heading to the San Francisco 49ers, leaving Green Bay with a significant hole on their defense. Yes, you heard that right. Rashan Gary, the All-Pro edge rusher of 2023 and one of the top players at his position, is moving from the Packers to the 49ers. And it's not just a minor swap, it's a blockbuster deal. The Packers are getting a first-round pick in 2026 in exchange for Gary. That's a huge asset for a team that's currently in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially considering their cap situation and the need to develop young players. The Packers, sitting at 3-1-1, are focusing on depth in the secondary and along the defensive line, especially after some recent setbacks. Nixon's illness, Wyatt's knee injury, and Van Ness's foot issues. These injuries have made it clear that they need to bolster their front seven, and moving on from Gary, a player who's been such a disruptive force, opens up some cap space, around $14 million, which they can now redirect toward rookies like Colby Wooden, a promising young talent with a solid PFF grade of 82.6. But why would the Packers make such a bold move? Well, it's all about rebuilding with youth and cap flexibility. They're prioritizing extending players like Alexander, who's set to hit a hefty $24 million cap hit, and freeing up resources to build a future core. Acquiring a first-round pick in 2026 is part of that long-term vision. Still, it's not without risks. The pass rush without Gary might see a drop of around 15% in EPA per play, which is significant for a team that's relied heavily on their front to generate pressure. But the Packers are betting on their young talent, like Wooden, who has shown promise and could develop into a reliable edge presence. Meanwhile, over in San Francisco, the 49ers are making a calculated gamble. Post-injury, their defense has still been solid, allowing about 20 points per game, but they're clearly in all-in mode. Bringing in Gary is a strategic move to bolster an already formidable pass rush. With Nick Bosa anchoring the line and Gary now adding explosive power on the other side, the Niners are aiming to elevate their pass rush to new heights. Experts project that Gary could add around 12 sacks in 2025, boosting their sack rate by roughly 13% and increasing pressures per game significantly. The synergy with Bosa should be seamless, given Gary's bend and power, reminiscent of some of the best edge rushers in recent NFL history like Joey Bosa or Von Miller. The goal is clear: create a defense that can dominate in the playoffs, disrupt quarterbacks like Brock Purdy, who currently boasts a QBR of 92.1, and keep rival offenses on their heels. And speaking of Brock Purdy, the impact of Gary joining the Niners could be profound. His ability to generate pressure, with pressures per game in the top 10 among edge rushers, can alter the entire dynamic of a game. When you have a player who can force sacks, pressure quarterbacks consistently, and double-team Bosa effectively, the entire defense becomes a nightmare for opponents. The Niners' defense already ranks as one of the best in the league, but with Gary, they could elevate to an elite level, much like the Rams did in 2022 with Von Miller, who transformed their defense and contributed to a +9 turnover differential. The 49ers are now positioning themselves as serious Super Bowl contenders, and this move signals that they're willing to risk their future picks to go all in on this season. Now, let's talk about the implications for the playoffs and the Super Bowl odds. Right now, the 49ers are sitting with +3.0 odds to win the Super Bowl, but after bringing in a player of Gary's caliber, those odds could shorten significantly, maybe to around +1,500. That's a huge shift in perception, and it reflects the confidence that the Niners are now more dangerous than ever. With pressures mounting on opponents like the Eagles and Rams, who are also competing at a high level, this move could be the difference maker in the postseason. The increased pressures on opposing quarterbacks, combined with the Niners' already stellar defense, make them a team to watch closely. For the Green Bay Packers, this move is a clear signal that they're shifting focus. They're not just trying to stay competitive, they're building for the future. Developing young players like Wooden and managing their cap for future extensions shows a strategic vision. But it also means that this season, they might be sacrificing some pass rush production, especially with Gary now gone. That's a tough pill to swallow for fans who love watching him wreak havoc on opposing offensive lines, but it's part of a bigger picture. The Packers are betting on their young talent, their draft picks, and their cap flexibility to set the stage for a brighter future in the NFC North. And speaking of the division, this trade could shake up the NFC North standings significantly. The Vikings, Lions, and Bears are all trying to find their footing, and now with the 49ers making a bold move to strengthen their defense, other contenders might feel the pressure to follow suit. The NFC is stacked with talented teams, but the Niners' aggressive approach shows they're not holding back. The Packers, meanwhile, are carefully recalibrating, focusing on building a core that can compete in the long term, even if it means taking a step back this season. This move also raises some questions about the future of the Packers roster. Will they target more draft picks? Will they look to trade other veterans to clear cap space? And how will this affect their young defensive players, especially those like Van Ness, who's been out with a foot injury? It's a fascinating time for Green Bay, as they balance between rebuilding and staying competitive. Fans can be assured that the front office has a plan, but it's clear that this trade of Gary is a sign of their commitment to the long game. As we look ahead, the NFL landscape is shifting, and the NFC is becoming even more competitive. The 49ers have now added a true game-changer in Gary, which could tip the scales in their favor come playoff time. Meanwhile, the Packers are laying the groundwork for the future, trusting their young talent to develop and become core pieces down the road. It's a classic case of short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, and as fans, we have to stay tuned to see how it all unfolds. In conclusion, this trade is a perfect example of how dynamic the NFL can be. It's not just about one player or one team, it's about the ripple effects across the league. For us Packers fans, it's bittersweet proud of the young talent we're developing, but also aware of the challenge we face in replacing a player like Gary. For the 49ers, it's a bold statement that they're all in, aiming for that elusive Super Bowl. And for the league as a whole, it's a reminder that in the NFL, everything can change in an instant. So stay tuned, keep supporting your team, and let's see how this new chapter unfolds for the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, and the entire NFC. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this blockbuster move? Do you think losing Rash and Gary will impact our defense significantly? Are you excited about our young players stepping up and filling that void? Or do you believe that this trade signals a larger rebuild that might take some time to pay off? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters, not just to us, but to the entire Packers community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and breaking news about the Green Bay Packers. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep that Green Bay pride alive no matter what the league throws at us. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go!